Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Taurus, this is your bi-weekly reading for the period of Monday, October 21st through November 3rd, which should be a Sunday. I've got to tell you, you got the most interesting cards here, but I had the most interesting experience shuffling them or preparing for your reading too. First of all, speaking of shuffling, for those of you who are new to the channel and you're like, her cards are already pre-laid. Can she shuffle live and can she read live? Absolutely. I've got over 1,900 videos on YouTube. I've been doing this for over 3 years, and you can go back through all those videos and see me shuffling live and reading and giving intuitive messages and channeling, sometimes for upwards of like 3 hours, just nonstop. So please feel free. But back to this. I was shuffling this deck, which is my Keepers of the Light Oracle. And in this deck, there is a card called Saint Germain and a card called Lady Portia. Why is that important? Because Saint Germain and Lady Portia are divine masculine and feminine. They are both ascended masters of the seventh ray and the keepers of the violet flame. I'm mentioning this because it may be significant to somebody. It's definitely tied into the rest of your cards. For example, Saint Germain is very closely associated to karma and karmic completion, karmic resolution. Yeah, I guess those are the only words I can think of to try to get what I have something else in my mind, but I'm kind of like tongue-tied. It's stuck that I can't think of the word I wanted to use. But he's very closely tied into karma. So Jupiter, the planet and god of not only karma, but growth, expansion, luck, is the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius. In the tarot, the sign of Sagittarius, for one thing, is represented by Major Arcana card Temperance, which is your overall energy in reverse. Temperance in reverse. Now, for me, this card also brings in air signs, particularly Aquarius, because this is a water bearer. I don't care what anybody says. It's an angel standing in a pool of water, pouring water between two vessels. That's a water bearer. But again, in the tarot, traditionally, temperance represents the sign of Sagittarius. And I see the fire. I see the Cupid-like energy too. The fiery red wings, maybe even a little Dante action going on. So I get it, but you know, at the same time, I can't help but mention the Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is all about freedom, right? And so Lady Portia is considered a goddess of freedom as well as justice. Well, you got Major Arcana card Justice, which represents the planet Venus, or again, maybe in this case, not only the planet or goddess Venus, but the goddess Lady Portia. Balance, equity, fairness, doing what's right for you, or what's right, period. Issues of legality coming up, especially this is your position of work and finance. So maybe you are owed something, you're just due. So you're getting your justice this, not only this month, but over the next couple weeks, if you haven't begun to already. And I think, again, this is in part propelled by Lady Portia. Now we have more of this fire coming in together with the air, because this person here is all clad, or I guess Lady Justice, all clad in a very regal red robe here. Now sitting atop her is the Ace of Swords, which is all about victory, triumph, new beginnings that are born out of tragedy or difficulty, some sort of end. The beginning comes, but it's unlike, for example, like the Ace of Cups, which is all about emotional fulfillment in your new beginning, and it's all just happy and, you know, smiles and love and wonderfulness. The Ace of Swords shows up when you've had a trying time. You know, a lot of the time you've had to climb major mountains and barriers and, you know, success and complete some karma to get to this new beginning, to get to this victory. Like, you earned it, you deserved it. And so now a new beginning is coming, and maybe you're even afraid of this new beginning, especially with Major Arcana card, the Tower, sitting next to it. The Tower, an abrupt energy that comes and sort of sweeps you off your feet, turns you upside down, knocks you all over the place. This one's in reverse, so it's not as scary as it looks upright. But in either case, upright or reverse, the energy is never as, you know, frightening as it may be to some, as, you know, is illustrated, you know, by the illustration. But because you have this sort of fast energy coming in for you guys that maybe turned you upside down in an area of your life. That's why you're being gifted or blessed with the Ace of Swords rather than the Ace of Cups. You know, because you like met the challenge and won still. You were successful. Let me see if I can find Lady Portia and Saint Germain in this deck. So I think I mentioned they're of the 7th ray. And I'm mentioning that because the 7 may be significant to somebody, or what 7 represents, which would be spirituality, higher consciousness, connection to maybe ethereal bodies. So able to connect with beings that are not of this plane in a like telepathic kind of way, intuitive kind of way, channeling, mediumship. 7s are about you being on the right path. Right? Successfully traveling down the right path. And the 7s show up because the angels want to show you that they're congratulating you. So when you see like 777, it's like, hey, yeah, I see you. I see you. I'm watching you. I know you got it. But it's also to tell you that good fortune is on your way. So, you know, you're in Vegas, you're in Atlantic City, you pull the thing, 777. That means good fortune. Well, what is the planet or god of like good fortune? Jupiter, the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius. So you see how all these things are tying in. It's like over and over. You've got like these repeating themes of the good fortune, the luck, the karma, dharma even, freedom, justice, triumph, truth, cutting to the truth of the matter. And I think you guys are doing all of those things. You're seeking your freedom. You're seeking justice. In all areas of your life. You may be ending some relationships. I'm not saying that just because the 2 of Cups is in reverse, but based on some of the other cards, you just may have had it with some of these things. And it's like, you don't need it, Taurus. You don't need it. And maybe normally you're stubborn, and so you're not willing to change or to make a move. But this time, because you've just so maybe had it, or realize that you don't need these things. There's no reason to hold on to them so tightly because they don't resonate with you and they don't feed your soul. It's okay to let them go, even if it appears like it might be scary to start some new beginning. That new beginning is a blessing for you, no matter how difficult it may have been to reach or to achieve. So I want to... Here's Saint Germain, karma, releasing. See, this maybe releasing was the word I was trying to think of, like letting go of something and being done with this karma. We finished the lesson. We learned it. Move beyond drama. Create your own path and make room for good energy. So that's what Taurus wants to do this month. And definitely with a healthy partnership. So maybe you got to get rid of a toxic relationship, a karmic relationship, in the derogatory sense, and you got to get with your divine partner that feeds your soul, Taurus. Whether that's on a romantic level or a business level or a close friendship or family member, somebody that really helps to serve toward your growth, your expansion as a human being, as an individual. If you're not a human being, some of us are not, at least not completely. Anyway, Lady Portia, divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. So I'm glad you got to see both of those. It may mean something that Isis is also upright behind her. Magic manifesting. Isis, of course, bringing in the energy of Gemini now. So we do have all of this air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Also, Cernunnos, life force. This is an earth energy. This is you. Look at, it's more like a ram, like an Aries. But this is you here. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Well, I like that. The next one's upside down. So I wanted to show you who Saint Germain and Lady Portia were in terms of the card, and to try to give you an understanding of what they represented as well. Lady Portia is said to govern mercy and judgment, and she teaches us or shows us that being able to forgive, or that forgiving others for whatever they've done to us, and forgiving ourselves too, not just others, forgiving ourselves releases the people involved. So us and whomever else we're forgiving from the karma that's associated with these karmic lessons. And so that's where her divine masculine fits in. Like, she couldn't do that on her own necessarily, because they need balance too. So your message, in a big way here, is about karmic completion, which was an overlying message for the collective in my readings this weekend, my general reading and my love reading, which I also saw very heavily for Aries. Not the same cards, but similar energies for Aries. So maybe because you're, so close to them, some of you are cuspians perhaps, or maybe you have both in your chart. Maybe you're dealing with an Aries in some sort of relationship on some sort of level. Or it's just because of the full Aries moon that we all just experienced, that will also still be feeling energy from over the next at least week or so. From that moon, or perhaps with the fact that Chiron, the wounded healer, is located in Aries. Maybe that's why all the Aries energy is resonant also. But this isn't just going to be about releasing. Like, it's okay if a relationship didn't work. It's okay if we need to break up and if I need to be with somebody else. It is all right. It's good for you. It is good for me. It may, in the moment when it's happening, be difficult, hurt, even be frightening, because what am I going to do by myself? I haven't been by myself. I've been with you. We've been married or whatever's happening. Because I see some divorces and stuff too. So how's that going to be, to be single or to be with another man or with another woman? It will be for the best once you actually release and do it, is what I think they're here to tell us. Lady Portia, like I said, she helps us to release karma on all levels. It's emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental, and to complete the lessons. But she relies on her masculine to help her to do that, because he sort of, rules the karma part, while she handles the judgment and the mercy and the justice of it all. Being ready to live our dreams over the next 2 weeks is going to be important too, Taurus. Why do I keep turning this temperance card around? It's supposed to be in reverse. Is going to be important too. Living our dreams, and that was a huge theme in the Aries reading as well. Like, whereas Aries, similar to you, for you, we call it stubbornness. For the Aries, we call it, controlling, or being super anal and organized. Well, both of you are sort of like ready to lose control in some aspects for your betterment, or to just say, fuck it. I don't have to keep charging against this bull that I am. I can slow down and go a different route too. I don't have to do what's expected of me. People expect me to act like a bull. I don't have to. I'm not in the mood to act like a bull this month. I want to do something else for me. I don't want to put on a show for you. I'm not here for your amusement. With this other deck, the fortune teller cards, your overall energy is unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. Also upright. More of this Jupiter or Sagittarius energy with luck. You are right to be strong and to be optimistic about the opportunities ahead, because good things are happening for you. Even if an Ace of Swords next to a tower seems like it might be scary, it's good for you. It's what you need right now. So the Ace of Swords showing up in this position that's most directly connected to you over the next 2 weeks, Taurus, is to say to you, this is about you being brave. This is about you being brave, and, not to be afraid by the images and the illustrations or the appearance or the illusion. Maybe you're getting caught up in some illusion. We have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, which it rules. And that's causing people to be confused and sometimes to not be able to discern between reality and maybe like the dream state or the dream world. Well, you can face reality. You have the strength to do that. You are empowered. And it's like, even if you're afraid, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. What you're guided to do, how you're guided to move forward. Because again, it's going to turn out better for you. This can be about ideas and things too. The swords or winter or air is also all about like creative thought, ideas, communication. So some of that could be coming into play with you guys also. Even if the new beginning is started from an ending or some sort of conflict or separation from a relationship, from a job, maybe from friends and family or co-workers, things and people that surround us, whatever, it's still going to be for the best. When justice shows up with relation to your work, it's about balance. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. And I said the same thing to Aries for a different reason, with a different card. But in this same, for this same placement, like we had been giving too much attention maybe to work and not enough attention to our social life or our family life, our romantic life, or vice versa. And so we need balance, whatever it is, in all of those areas. I talked about the 777 and maybe pulling, the lever in Atlantic City or Vegas or wherever you might get to go to gamble or have some fun. You don't, it doesn't have to be literal gambling, but when justice upright shows up in the placement of your finances, it's also a time maybe to take a chance. And, because we don't get to say that very often. And Juice is like, oh, karma's at play, don't take a chance, watch your money and all this kind of stuff. But no, this right now is a good time. It can even mean, that there's some sort of windfall of abundance coming your way. And with these two together, they equal sort of like an extra strength Ace of Pentacles, which would be very much tied to your energy, of course, as an earth sign. But yeah, you're surrounded by positive energy, and that may be in part because, again, the 7 of the 7th ray that is coming from Lady Portia and Saint Germain for you guys this month. So interesting. The Tower is the one that most gives me the feeling that there may be some people, places, things, situations, circumstances, relationships that you feel sort of aren't there for you anymore, or not in the same way. Something has changed. You don't feel supported. And this is what I meant by you don't need them. You don't need them. You don't need this, whatever this is. It doesn't have to be, again, frightening either, or the end all be all, doesn't have to necessarily be like the most dire thing you ever experienced. Change can be frightening. Some people are afraid of just the fact that something's changing, but it's good, right? Change is good. And it's the circle of life, the nature of life, the way that things move. So if we try to not change, we fail to evolve. It's like we're dead. So, you're not dead. Like, this is, as a matter of fact, quite the opposite. This is you coming to life in a new way, Taurus. So it's like whatever you have to experience, you need to feel. You need to feel whatever this is that's happening, and you need to experience it, because it's a win for you. You know what it reminds me of? That new Lil Wayne song? He has a line in there. It's like, I forgot the name of the song, but it's like, I come out the scuffle without a scuff. Oh, and that's what this is. This is definitely a scuffle. The Ace of Swords, the Tower in reverse, Justice, the Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, there might be a scuffle, but you come out ultimately without a scuff. You just got to experience it. And I guess that brings me to your love and relationship. So again, the Two of Cups in reverse. Twos can also be about balance in general, just like Justice can, just like Lady Portia can. And this is about balance in your love life. If you're single or if you're partnered, you could be paying too much attention to relationships or love or the idea of relationships rather than living. Like I said, you got to go through the situation. You have to live, you have to experience, you have to feel. You can't just be focused on a dream or an expectation about what love is supposed to be. If you are in a relationship and there are issues in that relationship, there's probably two choices. We can decide to forgive. And like I said before, forgiving ourselves and the other people around us involved in the situations with us releases everybody involved from karma, helps to complete the karma for everyone involved. So that's one way out. Or, again, maybe you don't need this relationship anymore. Maybe it no longer aligns with your soul and it's time to let it go, to let it tower itself. And that's okay, because you're still going to be all right. You're still going to come out the scuffle without a scuff. Oh. Further advice for you Taurians. Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. And like I said, some of that can be maybe, again, bringing that energy of the number 7 through some sort of mediumship or divine guidance that you receive from ethereal beings. Feminine for you from the Fortune Teller Oracle. Similar. They're both birds, so it's similar in that sense. They're both very regal birds, but the owl is more so, although it's connected to wisdom, which could be very air sign-like, wisdom, intellect, all ruled by air, thought, ideas. But at the same time, the owl is, tends to be tied to intuition and water sign energy too. It doesn't really matter what signs and stuff. I just try to, let you guys know, because you may be able to tie some of these energies specifically to different people in your life or different circumstances or situations in your life. So again, for the masculine, there are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. And some of them may come through your intuition or some sort of divine guidance, messages, telepathy, again, mediumship, something like that going on with you perhaps. Or it could be direct communication. You got this Ace of Swords here too. Could be some sort of communication. And then for the feminine, eagle. You will soar toward your destiny with greater clarity and strength. So this is also air sign energy showing up for you. The Ace of Swords showing up for you. Clarity, communication, understanding, thought, wisdom, right? Also, like you're above it all. You've like risen above it, and you're just going to soar through the situation. I'm just going to fly over the turbulence, so I'm sort of going through it, but at the same time, I don't have to I just have to feel it. I have to acknowledge it. And then I'm going to come out unscathed, like I mentioned before. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle, Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy. Why am I so particularly excited? Well, because again, the violet flame as well as the gemstone amethyst are both connected to Lady Portia. Go figure. You guys may want to Google Lady Portia. Like, what is all this she's talking about today? Move beyond current challenges. Move beyond them. Move above them even. And focus on what you desire instead. What is going to resonate with your soul? What is best for you? Because after we make it through this, whatever this is that we're dealing with, that's where we're going to be. That's what we're going to be left with. What's best for us. You guys got all of this very karmic energy, 4 major arcana cards and a little 5-card spread. Temperance, the Tower, Justice, 3. Then with the 2 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. And lastly, for the feminine, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, Odin, Psychic Insight. So the feminine and the masculine also have balance in the same kind of energy showing up for them. Again, in both cases, these birds that are bringing clarity and wisdom, understanding. And then in both cases, some sort of psychic insight, divine alchemy, divine guidance to help you along. Your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. See truth for what it is, not something scary. Your best life. That's what it is. It's not something scary. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your bi-weekly reading. I'll be back for you in another 2 weeks. I guess, I don't know what date it'll be, but sometime in November. We'll be well into November. And I'll also be around for other things. Client readings. The weekly love reading is up. The weekly general reading is up. That Aries full moon reading is up if you hadn't seen it. I also did a pick a card. I got all kind of stuff going on. Do join me for it. Also, check the description box for other stuff. Private readings, blah. Energy healing, and all the wonderful merchandise that is on my social 6 page and maybe Teespring and stuff. The artists that I work with are very, very busy these days. So that should be cool too. All right. Thanks guys for the thumbs up, for the sharing, for the liking, for the being with me, for the all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. Namaste.